नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ श्रीगणेशशारदागुरुभ्यो नमः। शिवाय गुरवे नमः। Tattvam. So Tattvam means, Shankara writes, Amrutam Satyam Paramartha Satatvam Ityete Ekartha Vachinaha. So Tattvam is synonymous to Amrutam, Satyam, Paramartha Satatvam. The last one is the best one. Why? Because when you say Amrutam, you are negating Mrutam, you are negating mortality. When you are saying Satyam, you are saying Sat and Ket. So Satyam is also Tattvam. The Amarakosha, the dictionary, Sanskrit dictionary, Tattvam, Brahmani, Yatarthye, the state of being Yathartha, state of being real, reality. That is Tattvam. Then Tattvam is Brahman, the ultimate reality. This is the meaning of Tattvam, generally in the worldly parlance. Shankara writes, it is Amrutam. It is immortal. It is indestructible. It cannot go away. Meaning Trikala Abhadidam. It has to stay in all times. Anything that is Mrutam has got Jananam. So it has a history and it will have a future. But whereas Amrutam means it is not limited, inhibited by destruction. And then it is Satyam. Why Satyam? Because it also appears as Tyat. It has the potential of appearing as Tyat. What is Tyat? That which is experienced. That which is experienced is called as Tyat. In the world, whatever you experience is Satyam. What is not experienced or what is falsely experienced or differently experienced, that is Asatyam. So these are all objective reality. What? Amrutam, Satyam. So whenever you say Amrutam, you have to ask, it relates to a thing which is destructible. When you say non-destructible, it relates to the destruction relates to an object. That is why he goes to the final one. Amrutam, Satyam, Paramartha Sat. That does not have to relate to our objective reality. Why? Because it is Paramartham. It is ultimate. Ityete Ekartha Vajinaha. So all of them are synonymous. Ekartha Vaji means they all Vachi, say Ekartham, same meaning. Then why do you have so many words? That is because some people call it Amrutam, some people call as Satyam, some people call as Paramartha Sat. They have these names to express. So whatever Vyavahara you have, that is all Tattvam. Paramartha Sato Brahmano Vachakaha Shabdaha Tattvam. So what is this Tattvam denoting according to Shankara? It is Brahma Vachakam. Why does Shankara say that? Because Shankara is a Brahmavadi. Shankara is a Jnani. Like that we had it in the Bhagavatam. Vidanti Tattvavidaha Tattvavidaha. Tattvavid means a person who knows Tattvam. Like Ganavita means K.J. Yeshudas. Like that, Tattva means a person who knows Tattvam. Who knows Tattvam? Everybody says they know it. Jaimini says Tattvam is karma. What is, according to Jaimini, if you do karma, you get result. There is no God, nothing. They don't believe in God business. Mimamsakas. So also Sankhya. So for different people, Tattvam is different. In Bhagavatam itself, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti. A Bhakta will call that Tattvam is Krishna. Tattvam has got a peacock feather in the head. It has a flute in the hand. That is Tattvam. For a bhakta. For a yogi, they won't open their eyes. They will sit and enjoy the Antaryami inside. They don't want to come out. For them, Paramatma is the Tattvam. And for Jnani, like Shankara, Brahmeti. He says that Brahman. What Brahman? Paramartha Sat. So this Tyat in Satyam, that is Vyavaharikam. Whenever you open your mouth and say Tattvam, you are not actually talking. Whatever you are conveying is not Tattvam. What you are conveying is, it is impossible to say by words. That is how you have to understand. It is like saying that I am always truthful. It is very... the moment you say that, it becomes falsehood. So no Veda can talk about Tattvam. Veda themselves say that. Eto vacho nivartante. When you use a word that stops to be truth. That is why he is saying Paramartha Sataha Brahmanaha. And he uses the word Vachakaha. What is the meaning of Vachakaha? Vachakaha means it is conveyed by word. So that means it is only a label. Label means what? It's not the real thing. So how many elements are there? There are millions of elements in the world. But we have labeled everything under 5. Under 5, all the elements are labeled. Though there are innumerable elements. In order to understand Tattvam, we just reduce them into 5 categories. Prithvi, Aptejo, Vayu and Akasha. But that doesn't mean that there are no other elements. There are no other names. So all these 5 words are Vachaka. They reveal the nature of that element through that words. But it is not limited to that word. That is why the word Vachaka is used. Vachaka means it is a meaning which is revealed by that word, but not directly. When I say this is plastic, it is directly revealed. You can directly see that it is plastic. But when I say Paramartha Sat, what comes to your mind? Just like I say, you. What do I mean by you? I just mean assume something. Because that is why the word you is very different things for different thing. For the child it is mother. For the husband it is wife. And for others it is other things. So that's why we call it Vachakam. We cannot limit you with one word. How can I call you? If I call your name, then there will be a last name. Then there will be a role you play. That is also you. So ultimately what is you? You are Tvam. You are you. Yuyam, Vayam, Vayam. You are you and I am I. We have to stop there. What is stopping? What is stopping the words? What is stopping? The Vachaka Shabdaha. There is no more words other than just wordlessness. That is why Tattvam is what is generally used by yogins, bhaktas and jnanis to signify the word Paramartha Sat. See, he is not using the word Satyam. He gave it up. Because you have to give up even Tyat. Because Tyat is Vyavaharikam. That is unmanifest. Even the unmanifest has to disappear. All that has to be is Sat. That is called Tattvam.
Shivaji, is Tyat the same then as Maya?
What?
Is that the same as Maya then?
Tattvam.
Not Tattvam. Tyat. Tyat.
Anything other than Tattvam is Maya. Anything other than Sat is Asat. Tet is asat. Sat, chat, tyaccha, bhavat. Sat and asat.
And so the asat part is the same as Maya then.
Yeah. Maya means, it doesn't mean non-existent. What is Maya? Maya is not. Yeah, Ma. She is not what it appears to be. So that is what Maya is. But Sat is what it is always. It doesn't have to appear anything. So when I say you don't have to appear. You can appear as a wife or a student or a teacher. But you don't have to actually. After appearing as all that you appear, finally what do? You become you. You become yourself. Like that. That essence is called Sat. But then you become so many things, right? You place several roles. That is all Tet. So Tet is the manifestation part and Sat is the being part, the existence part. And that is Tattva, according to Shankara. But it doesn't mean that he is invalidating other schools. You have to climb slowly to get to that Paramatma, Paramartha Satyam. Because right now you are doing Vyavahara. You have to intelligently talk about Tattva. That is the whole idea of Bhashyam. Bhashya means what? He has to expound what Vyasa wrote. So when Vyasa says Tattvam, Tattvavid, he's talking about Vishnu. How do you talk about Tattvam if you say that it cannot be talked about? You have to explain how it cannot be talked about. What part can be talked about? The word Tattvam is Vachakam. It is an indication. Indication means what? Something more. You go to a doctor, say that I have a headache. Okay, indicate to me what is happening. Do you have it here or here or here? You can give up all the indication and the doctor will say, I think you have migraine. Then you say, no. You can say that. My mother always used to say that whatever the doctor says is wrong. She knew better. Of course, it is her ailment. Doctor did not learn her ailment in Harvard. So that is what it is. You cannot nail it. You cannot nail Brahman with words. That is what he is explaining in the Bhashya. The Tattvam is called as Amrutam by some, Satyam by some, Paramartha Sat by some. But Bhagavatam very clearly nails it. Tattvam yat jnanam advayam. Tattvam is simply jnanam. Tattvam is simply what? Awareness. After that you can add a daughter. That you can add. But you cannot eliminate that I am part. Because I am, you have borrowed it from Krishna. It doesn't belong to you. I am, you have borrowed it from the Sat. So that I am part, that is called as Advayam Jnanam. In that I am, you have not divided yourself yet. When you say I, you have not thought about what to say next. You want to say I am here, meaning that you are locating in a time and space. But you have not done that yet. Morning, when you wake up, first thing, and then say, I am hearing to the alarm. When you say that hearing to the alarm, you start up. The Maya starts. But till that aham is Puranam, that pure Puranam, that is called Tattva in Bhagavatam. So Advayam means division. What is the division? Me and everything different. Me and everything different. That is called Dvayam Jnanam. That is called Dvaitam. But what is Tattvam according to Bhagavatam? Vidandi Tattva Vidaha. They understand it. Vidanti. How? Advayam Jnanam. As an indivisible knowledge. That is what we said. Vishishtya. Vaishishtya. Avagahi Jnanam. That is Dvayam Jnanam. What is Dvayam? Vishishta and Vaishishtya. Vishesha and Visheshana. That is the Dvayam. What is Visheshanam? The qualification. The attribute. Visheshana means attribute. Visheshyam, the qualified. So when you say I, you don't qualify yourself. You don't have to say anything. You just have to say I. But when you have to explain it to other, you have to say that I am a Pandit. You have to say something. Otherwise, they'll think that you are not sociable. That's why it's called Vyavaharika. What is it called? Vyavaharikam. Vyavaharikam means transactional. In order to transact, in order to make the other person understand. That is why Tattvam is called as Paramartha Sat. He even eliminates Tyat from there. He just says Parama Artham. Artham which will, you eliminate everything. No, not this. Neti, Neti. Then finally what remains is that Tattvam. That is why it is Advayam. So now he just said that Tattvam means Brahman. Not Brahman, Brahmanaha Vachakaha Shabdaha. Tattvam is just a word. What is Tattvam? It is just a word, like Manushyatvam. What is Manushyatvam? Manushyasya Bhavaha. The state of being human is called Manushyatvam. The state of being a Muslim, Pashutvam. The state of being Tat, the state of being Tat means Tattvam. What is Tat? Tat means Sarvanama. What is Tat? In Sanskrit, Tat means what? Sarvanama. Sarvanama means a pronoun. A thing which indicates everything. Sarvanama means what? Sarvasyapi nama. So that is Tat. So Manushyaha means it doesn't indicate everything. It doesn't indicate a Pashu. It doesn't indicate a Ditta, Kudya, Gata, Pata. For that you have Kudyatvam, Patatvam, Gatatvam. Manushyatvam indicates only Manushya. Pashutvam indicates only Pashu. But Tattvam, what does it indicate? It indicates Tat. And what is Tat? Sarvanama. Tat is what? Sarvasyapi nama. You can indicate anything with Tat. That means Tat means Brahman. Tat is Brahmanaha Vachakaha Shabdaha. Tat. That's why Tat means Brahman. How can Tat indicate Brahman? Because Brahman is everything. What does Tat indicate in your language? When you say that, you don't mean a human being or an animal or a pot or a wall or a world. You can mean anything. You can mean everything. That means what? All that is that. Similarly, in Sanskrit also, Tat is a Sarvanama. The name of Tat itself is Sarvanama. You can indicate anything which you want to refer to. And all that is called Sarvanama. That is Brahman. That is why it is called Tattvam. And that is what indicates Brahman. You need a word to indicate Brahman. And you also have to say that word cannot reveal him completely. Because if it can reveal completely, it will become Manushyatam. Because the word Manushyatam completely reveals the word, the thing, object Manushya. But Tattvam cannot completely reveal Tat. It is called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. What is it called? Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Some part is indicated. Aprameya means not understood. Well, I am telling you, you are understanding. I am telling this Tattvam is the name of Brahman. Are you not able to understand? So, it's not ununderstandable. But it is a Vachika Shabdaha, only partly understood. One bhaga you can understand, the other bhaga you cannot. You give up partial meaning, you give up. When I say the couch is crying, I say the couch is crying, the cradle is crying. Who is crying? The baby is crying. So I give up the meaning of cradle. What is the meaning of cradle? That which has got cradlehood is cradle. What is cradle? That which has got cradlehood. But I don't take the word cradle there. Because why? Because cradle cannot cry. Simple. Similarly, Brahman cannot be expressed with words. Who says so? The Veda says. But then how can you say that the cradle is crying? It's an expression. We do Bhagatyaga. One part is given up. Similarly here, that whatever you don't understand, you give it up. And understand what you can comprehend. That is why Brahmanaha Vachakaha Shabdaha is Tattvam. That's why if you say Tasmai Namaha, Tasmai Namaha means you are doing Namaskara to Sarvanama. That's why we say that. Devaya Tasmai Namaha. We don't have any words. We don't know whether it is Shiva, Ganesha, Kartikeya, Ambika, Parvati, Lakshmi. We don't know. So we just say Etkinchit Mahase Namaha. Namaskaram to that great one. First you catch hold of the feet, then it will reveal the face. And you have to be committed to the feet first. That's why we say Namaskara, we fall flat. So that is Tattvam. Tattvam is Brahmanaha Vachakaha Shabdaha. So Tattvam means Advayam Jnanam. That's where we are. A knowledge that is not qualified by any limitations. Unqualified awareness. Tattva means what? All fancy words. Unqualified awareness. Okay. How do you know that it is Tattvam? Because Vishnu is Tattvavit. He is also Tattvam. He is also Tattvavit. So Tattvam means Swarupam. What is the meaning of Tattvam here? Swarupam. Swarupam means one's real nature. Swarupam means nature. Swarupam means Swasya Rupam, one's own nature. Yathavat Veti. He understands exactly like it should be understood. You can understand it differently. I can talk about something and it can be understood differently. But Vishnu understands his Swarupam Yathavat. Yathavat means as Sachidananda. As Satyam Jnanam Anantam he understands. We also understand as Sat, as existent. Nobody will dispute that he is here. Can anybody dispute that you are not here? That means you are saying you are Sat. You also don't dispute that you know whatever you are knowing. But it is not Anantam. That is why we have the third definition for Brahman. Satyam, Jnanam we have, but it is not Anantam. That's why we don't say Satchida Ananda. Anandam also we have. But Anantam Sat, Anantam Anandam, Anantam Chit we don't have. That is why Yathavat, he knows it as such. He knows it exactly in all its enormity, without any inhibition of time and space, he knows it. That is the meaning of Yathavat. Yathavat means without Vishishta Vaishishtya Avagahi Jnana, without duality. Without duality, he understands. And also, Yathavat means Ayathavat na. Yathavat means what? As it is, meaning not differently. That is also understood. Because that is the main culprit. You have to clarify what you are not first. If you don't do that, then people will take you for granted. So you have to, it is like telling a disclaimer. You won't get this with Art of Living. You won't get it with Kriya Yoga. You have to tell all that. Because people assume a lot of things when that is called Ayathavat Jnanam. Something different. So, what is different than Vishnu? What is different? Samsaram. What is different than Vishnu? Samsaram. So, Samsara Dharmam is not Paramartha Sat. Samsara Dharma is not Tattvam. Why Samsara Dharma is not Tattvam? Because Samsara Dharma is Vinashi Dharma. Samsarati. It changes. It does not go away. The water is always there, but the color will change according to the seasons. So he does not understand Tattvam as Samsara Dharma. That also is there. The Chaya is there in this word. When Shankara says Yathavat, it also means Ayathavatapi na janati. He also does not mistake it to Samsara Dharma. Why? Because you do. You also know Tattvam. You know Tvam. You know who you are. But you take it for Samsara Dharma. He does not take it. He just takes it for Surupam. What is Surupam? Atma Dharma. Surupa is Atma Dharma. Tad vilakshanam is samsara dharma. So he understands yathavat jnanam means samsara dharma vilakshanataya janati. What is the meaning of yathavat jnanam? Samsara dharma vilakshanattvena, as different from perishable dharmas.
And how does that fit with Vishwam Vishnu? Sorry.
Vishwam Vishnu?
Yeah. How does it fit with that? What you just said.
Vishnu is one who enters everything.
So when
If
we
you
say-
want to come here, you should know the address. You should know the address. If you don't know the address, you don't enter here. Knowing the address means knowledge. Knowing the address means what? Knowing, knowledge. And where does he enter? Vishwam. As what? As Vishwam. So unless he is Tattvavit, he cannot be Vishwam. You are not Vishwam. Why? Why are you restricted to McDonald place? That restricted place. The whole thing has your identity engraved in it. But whereas for Vishnu, the whole 14, all the universe is engraved by his existence. Just like you pervade your house. I cannot argue with you about even an inch. Every inch belongs to you. Whereas the entire universe belongs to Vishnu. Why does your house belong to you? Because you are entitled. Your name is on there. You know it, exactly the limitations. So it is the knowledge which makes Vishnu the Vishwam. How did Vishnu become Vishwam? By Vishnu. Vishnu means Pravishnu. Vishnu means what? Pravishnu. By so much of love. Pravishnu means he has entered with so much of love. Nakha, like from your tip of your nail to the head. Nakha Shigarebhya, how you have entered the body. He is Vishwasarira. The entire body is Vishnu. Antastham Yasya Vishwam Tribhuvana Vapusham. Who is Vishnu? The one who has the entire universe as his body. And how did you become this body? By being aware. If I touch here, you are not aware. Why? Because you are limiting your awareness to your frame. Like that, Vishnu, everywhere he is pervading. Just like you are pervading with limited awareness in a limited body, Vishnu is pervading the entire universe with his enormity of his awareness. So that is the connection between Tattvavit and Vishwam and Vishnu. Because you are Tattvavit, what Tattvavit? Manushatvavit. You are limited to this. Because he is the Tattvavit, Paramartha Satvit. He knows the Tattvam, Paramartha Sat. Truth in its enormity. That's why they say, Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. If you know Manushya, you become a Manushya. If you know Brahman, you become Brahman. That's why he is Vishwam. So by knowledge he is. So that is the meaning of Tattvam Tattvavit. Tattvavit not only just understand verbally what is Tattvam, you also have to negate what is Atattvam. That is why Shankara puts these two words, Yathatmya, Yathavat. There is a two words, Yathatmya. Yathatmya means Atmanaha Bhavaha, Atma Yatha, as it is. Yathavat, like it is. So generally the tendency is not to perceive it as it is. Now you will say, I am happy. Why don't you continue to say that? Because you saw that face which you didn't want to say. Say or see. So what happened? You changed the dharma. That changing dharma is called samsara. The changing dharma is called as samsara. You have to eliminate that. If you want to know, be a tattvavit, you have to eliminate, you have to know tattvam yathavat. Unless you know tattvam yathavat. So what is the difficulty of knowing yourself? What is the big deal? No big deal if you are sattvika. If you are filled with sattva-guna, if you don't yawn, then there is no tamoguna left in you. So it is that Sattva-guna which is going to add to Yathavatvam. Whenever you understand reality, you are alert, you are sharp. Why you have to be sharp? Because you have to fight unreality. You have to eliminate wrong understanding. Wrong understanding will not come by reading Ramayana. With all due respect to Ramayana. Wrong understanding will go away only if you are filled with Sattvam. That is why we have to do Upasana of Sattva-murti. Sattvavan Sattvika Satyaha. You have to do Upasana of Sattvam. Unless the Sattva-gunam increases, you cannot comprehend. This is not for Vedanta. This is not for Vishnu Sahasranam I am talking about. I am talking about material sciences. Even if you want to understand material sciences, you have to have a steady mind. A mind which is clouded with tamas cannot know. Because there is no true knowledge. There is no material science or spiritual science. There is only knowledge. Why knowledge is advayam. Knowledge is non-dual by nature. But when you divide, that means you are doubting. Whenever you are dividing, you are doubting it. That is why you have to give up samsara dharma. You have to be very aggressive with samsaram. Not the Tamil, Sanskrit. You have to be very aggressive with ignorance. You have to be very aggressive with Rajogunam and Tamogunam. That is why Rajogunam is better than Tamogunam. Vivekananda said that. I would prefer a person who plays football than somebody sleeping, something like that, not the exact words. He wants a player rather than a sitter and thinker, thinking what to do next. That's what Krishna also says. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtat yakarmakriti. A person who does not do anything, a retired person, he will not be able to achieve anything in this world. Hence, samsara dharmam has to be, if you don't eliminate samsara dharmam, you are not going to understand tattva. That's why immediately has tattvam tattvavida. Tattvavida yatavad veti. Yathavat means sakala samsara dharma vilakshanattvena veti. That is the meaning of yathavat. Yathavat means as it is. As it is means not like other. That is embedded. Now, what is the other? Samsaram. So, samsara vilakshanattvena jnanam is yathavat jnanam. What is samsara vilakshanam? Other than samsaram, what is there? You. That is tattvam. What is tattvam? Tvam tat. Tvam tat. That is tattvam. What is truth? Tvam tat. When you understand tat as tvam, how do you understand tvam? You don't understand tvam as tat now. You understand tvam as tvam. You want to keep that little cheese to yourself and keep it. You don't want to give it. The Navneedam to Krishna. You have to keep it to yourself. That's why you understand yourself as you. That is what samsara is. But when you understand yourself as different from what you are understanding now, and understand essentially that you are tat, you are also part of that sarvanama. Because that is indivisible. You are a little thing, you came, you have a date of birth and expiry date. But tat does not have it. That you are going to say, Janma Mrityu Jaradikaha, is beyond all that. Hence, when you understand tat, then you are a tattvaveta. That is called yathavat jnanam, not Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is understanding tat as samsara dharma vilakshanam. Because otherwise you can just say tattvavita means knower of truth. That is a translation you will find in internet for the word tattvavita. But Shankara will not like it. That doesn't explain anything. You have to understand tattvam as tattvam and also not understand tattvam as samsara. That is why he is bringing that up. Tattvam surupam, your own form, your own reality, your own ultimate reality, supreme reality, gas reality. That yathavat veti, that you have to understand as yourself. That is called tattvavit. Tattvam tattvavit. That is why you have these three divisions in Bhagavatam. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavanati. If I say that you are tat, that is very romantic to hear. It is like saying that I am everything. I am better than Bill Gates. He's limited to Microsoft. I am everything. But when you say that, for the moment it is very appealing because the words you understand, not the meaning behind it. That is why Brahman is not something which is very easily digestible. Even though you say Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, you only give one rice. You don't give the entire thing. That's why you'll never understand the meaning of that verse. Why? Because you had to, Brahma Arpana means you had to give up. That is why you have Bhagavan. That is why Bhagavatam says, Brahmam Paramatma Bhagavan. Bhagavan means you can invoke him in an Archa Vigraha, like Vaishnavas do. Archa Vigraha means he is in with Sthalam, with Jnanam Sthalam, as Vitthala. He is in Guruvayur. Guru is the revealer of truth. Vayu is your own body. Guruvayur is your own body. So when you get that maturity that Vishnu is inside you, from Bhagavan you graduate to Paramatma. Why? Because Bhakta, as a Bhakta you do Vibhakti. You say that I only offered one apple. Why I forgot to get that second apple? Why did I let others take away that apple? All that guilt and everything you'll have as a Bhakta. But when you turn around and say that there is no need to go to market pantry, you just have to turn and look himself and he is sitting as Antaryami. When you get that maturity, you have already got that yoga. That yoga has happened. That is when you see him as Paramatma. So that is why you go step by step. First you see him as Bhagavan. You do all that Navadha Bhakti, ending with Atma Nivedanam. Then only you graduate to Paramatma. You just don't go to Vishnu by hearing Vishnu Sahasranama for 2 years. You don't do that. You do that by that Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam, you have all the 8 steps before. But after Atma Nivedanam, what happens? Then it doesn't matter if that you don't really take care of Bhagavan. In fact, you will have more time and efficiency to take care of Bhagavan then, once you become a yogi. Because you have eliminated all samsara by then. You are constantly sitting with your Priya Sarathi. Who are you sitting with? Achyuta Priya Sarathi. It's always, the driver is at your call. Whenever you call, he will come. Because he is right next to you. That state is called Paramatma. And then you have to go to Brahman. So if you want to understand Brahmatmanam, first you have to read Bhagavatam. And then the Bhagavad Gita. To understand him as Antaryami. Antaha Tishtati Ishvaraha. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhagaha. Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi. All that you have to understand through Gita to be a yogi. That's why Krishna says, Tapasvibhyo dhiko yogi karmibhya chapyadhiko mataha. He is better than a karmi. He is better than a tapasvi. Why? Because he is constantly in yoga, in samyoga, in union. You have only 2 options. Either you can have yoga with your samsara, or you can yoga with Paramatma. So when you are a bhakta, you are still in samsara. You are still in samsara. But there are many yogis and jnanis who act like bhaktas. There is a different story. But generally, you start with Bhagavan and then graduate to be a yogi. Directly, you don't go to yoga. Why? Because yoga also is very 5 kinds of pranayamas, 6 kinds of yamanayamas, so many different. It's very complicated to be a yogi. Meaning to have all the lakshanas of a yogi. So nothing is like ambiguous in our system. It's very clearly earmarked who is a bhakta, who is a yogi. But everybody can claim tattvam. If you are a bhakta, you can call tattvam as Krishna. If you are a yogi, you can call tattvam as Paramatma, Malik, whatever you want to call it. Or you can just call it everything, Sarvanama, Tat Brahman. So, in other words, only Vishnu is Tattvavid. Why? Because he does not call it anything. He just is Tattvavid. Anybody who says Kalki, cross check. He is gone. Why? Because he named it. The moment you name it, you put a copyright, give a website, you are eliminated. Because Because namani rupani vichitya dhiraha abhivadaniyata. He will do namaskara to only himself because he understands himself as tattvam. That is why Vishnu is tattvam and Vishnu is the only tattvavit. Don't surrender to anybody. Only surrender to Ishvara, the true tattvavit. Yathavat veti iti tattvavit. Why he is tattvavit? Why does he know tattvam? Because he is ekatma. He is not a split personality. What is Bahu Atma? Split personality. So many personalities. But he is ekatma. He is always one. He is gathered. One person. One being. Atma means being. Ekascha asau atma cheti ekatma. Here also it means there is no other. Naturally, when you say Vishnu as ekatma, that means he is the only one. The other one means samsara, maya is not there. That is what he says in the Aitareya Sutta in Rigveda. Atma va itam eka eva agre asit. The self you are claiming to be yourself, that was the only thing before, and that is the only thing which is going to be. Nanyat kinchana mishat. There won't be anybody. Nobody is going to be there, exist. So, Eka means Mukhyam. In the world, what is the meaning of Ekam? Main. The only one, you put all caps, only. That is Ekam, Mukhyam. The other one is Kevalam. Kevalam means eliminating the other thing. What is Kevalam? In Sanskrit, Kevalam means no other thing. That's called Kevalam. That's why you call it Kaivalyam. In Kaivalyam, there is only truth. There is only Tattva, nothing else. So, that means what? Ekascha asau atma means advitiyascha asau atma. That is the meaning. What is the meaning of ekatma? Not sadvitiya, advitiya. One without two. Without two is also added. That is why Shankara quotes the Shruti. He could have simply said that Atma is one. Like the Christians say, Muslims, Jewish people. What do they say? There is only one God. Then who are the others? So when you say one God, then you are begging a question, what is the second? That's why we don't say one. We always say Advitiyam. Not two, not the other. Na iti. We negate the other. What will be left will be Shesha, will be him. What will be Shesha will be him. That's why he says, he quotes this Rigveda Shruti. Anyat na mishat. In that Ekam, there is no other. That you have to emphasize always. That is why when you want to say about yourself, you don't want others talk in between. Because you are one. You want to eliminate the two. That is all a little bit perverted Advaita. You want to say that you are Mukhya, you are Advitiya, you are the best. Why does Shankara say, or Vishnu Sahasranama, Bhishma says is Ekatma? Because in reality it is not Ekatma. You say Vishwam Vishnu, then what it should be, everything should be one, right? But we don't see that. We see several jivas. We also see that the jiva is different from another jiva. We also see some people are jada, like wall. Not some people, some things. Jada is a wall. Wall has no life. But there is another wall. So this wall is different from that wall. So I see several jivas and I see that jivas are different from each other. I see objects, jadas, and jadas are also different from each other. And jivas are also different from the jada. Some people are not, but you recognize that division. That is why he is saying Ekatma, because that is your tendency That's your tendency, which is from time immemorial. You'll chant Vishnu Sahasranama for 50 years. You'll say Ekatma without understanding that Ekatma. That is why he's saying that Shankara is going to that extent of saying don't accept any two. Samsara dharmam tektva ekatma. So you have to eliminate jiva bheda, jiva jada bheda, jada bheda, jiva jada bheda, jada ishwarayor bheda, jiva ishwarayor bheda. Eliminate everything. What remains would be ekatma. So that ekatma is not very easy unless you eliminate all this Dvitiyam. So we have to understand Dvitiyam very in detail. Unless you understand it in detail, you won't be able to, you'll be surprised by the enemies if you don't know them. So that is what this, when you say Ekatma, that Eka itself is a Bheda Nivrattaka Shabda. Why do you say only one? Because you don't want to eliminate the doubt that there is another one. That is the meaning of Ekatma. By that Eka, that Bheda is eliminated. That is why he quoted the Rigveda. Eka eva asid atma anyat navishat. Nothing shown, nothing was there at that time except Ekam. That is the meaning of Ekatma. He is also quoting Linga Purana. For this, the word Ekam means just one, not two, to get that meaning, or to, okay, what is the word here? Ekatma, right? So there are two words here. One is Eka, one is Atma. For Eka, he quoted a Shruti, Rigveda, saying that Eka is not two. You don't understand it just as one, because later you will go for the two. So eliminate the two first. What remains would be one. Now he is going for the Atma Shabda. You say Eka Atma. When you say Eka Kumbha, you understand it's a pot. But Eka Atma means what you understand by Atma. What is Atma? So he is quoting the Linga Purana. This verse has come before, if you remember, 2 years ago. Echapnodi yada datte echatti vishayaniha echasya santato bhavaha tasmad atmeti giyate. So Atma, this is the definition of Atma. This is why Atma is called Atma. Why? Because apnoti tyatma, that is number one definition. Apnoti means one who is obtained. Where is Atma obtained? In the waking state. Do you have any doubt? Where is Atma? Yourself. Apnoti. How it is obtained? Vishayan iha atti. By perceiving objects. How it is obtained? You will never obtain yourself if you don't have a second thing. See, when you say I am here, you are saying in reference to this space. Otherwise, you don't have to say anything. Whenever you are making a statement, you are actually transacting. You are actually experiencing. That's why he says, Echa Vishayan iha atti. Vishaya means what? Rupam, Gandho, Rasas, Parshaha, Shabdas, Vishaya, Ami. With these 5 things only you can relate. So either you have to see, hear, touch, do all these things. Then only you will remember about yourself. Otherwise, you will never remember yourself. How many times did you remember you from morning to evening? Nobody can say. Because normally our state is Samadhi. Everybody is in Samadhi. Samadhi means what? Abiding in yourself. You are doing that. But why am I not happy? Because of Tamoguna. That's why we have to eliminate that. So that is what Atma is. The first definition of Atma is apnoti. Obtains where? In the waking state. Then adatte. Adatte means gathers. When do you gather? You don't gather like everything. in waking state, though you want to, you don't do that for fear of social conduct. To properly conduct yourself, you do that. But in dream, whatever you wanted to collect, you can go and collect. You want to go for cherry picking, he won't drive you there. Go to cherry picking in your dream. That is called as adate. You collect. Adate means collect. You collect everything, whatever you want. That's what they say. Bhagavan, he will give you fierce dreams. Why? Because he doesn't want you to really undergo in waking state. So you got the experience, but you are saved. That's why whenever you are blessed with a fierce dream, feel blessed. Don't complain, don't sweat. Because that one bad karma is gone. That is called Swapna Shariram. That is called Taijas Shariram. Just like you have to take physical body to enjoy your karma. You have to pick up that salary you worked for. That can also happen in Taijas Shariram. That is you. You are the one who is going to New York inside your bed. Sitting in your bed, you are the one who is going and coming. That is called Adate. Then you gather. Sitting in one place, you gather everything. All is gathered. That's all Atma. But in a different state. So first he talked about Jagrata Avastha. Then he talked about, there also you are gathering experience again. Then Ati. Finally you go Sushupti. You just, Ati means enjoy. What is Ati means? Eat. Eat means what? You become one. Eating means what? Become one. Becoming one means knowing. So the laddu was there. You are curious how it would be. Then you swallow it. What happened to the laddu? The laddu became you. Is there any difference between you and laddu now? Nothing. That's why it is called Atti. Atti means bhogam. What is Atti means? Bhogam. What is bhogam? Bhogam means sukham or dukkham. You can think that it is laddu, but then she might have removed all the sugar from it. If all the sugar from it is a namesake laddu. So it is also bhoga, but that is why in Sanskrit bhoga means sukham and dukkham. In normal language, bhogam means what? It is only sukham. That is why he says atti. So atti means bhogam. Bhogam means jnana paryavasayi. All bhogam in knowledge. This way or that way. It may not be the knowledge you are looking for. But all bhoga is nothing but knowing. Any experience is nothing but knowledge. That is what you do in your Sushupti. What do you do in your Sushupti? You know yourself. You subside. You have laya. You become yourself. And you know yourself. You just know yourself without knowing anything else. That is why you feel very happy. Why? Because you are not transgressed. You are not interfered. You are not disturbed. Undisturbed sleep. That's what they enjoy. That is the third state of our Atma. So the first line is the very definition of Atma. Somebody asks you who is Atma, what do you say? Yaha Atti, who enjoys. Yaha Adate, who collects in dream, in garage sale. And then Apnoti, and becomes in waking state. He goes and becomes whatever. You want to be a manager, you become a manager. You want to be a father, be a father. You want to be a consumer, become a consumer. You want to be a giver, be a giver. Whatever role you want to be, you plan, you do sankalpa. According to your jnanam. And then ichha. Then pravritti. Then apnoti. How do you do apnoti in Jagrata Avastha? Janati, ichhati, yatate, apnoti. First you know. If you don't know about that particular object, you won't think about it. You won't desire it. Then you will desire. And after desire, you plan. And then apnoti. That is your Jagrata Avastha. And in Swapna Avastha, you don't have this problem. You don't have to worry about how much gas is left in your CRV. Because you can just fill it in your dream. When you can make a CRV in your dream, why can't you fill it? Why do you need help? That's why Adate. Whatever you want, you can take. In waking state, you can only apnoti. You need these three things. You have to have jnanam, icha, and kriya. That is Bhagavan's Shakti. Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Swarupini. Bhagavan's Maya. You are borrowing Bhagavan's Shakti and doing it. Again, in the dream also, you are borrowing his Shakti. But there, you don't need external parikaras. You don't need any external instruments. That is why the word adatte used for Atma. In the waking state, apnoti means attaining as though it is different from you. But in dream, when you are dreaming, you have matured up a little bit, like the Gopikas. They're always dreaming about Krishna. When they see butter, they don't see butter, they see Krishna. Always dreaming. So Swapanaloka is better than, there you can create, you are the master of your creation. That is why they say adatte. You just order, demand and get it. That is the meaning of adatte. Apnoti means husband, adatte means wife. You just get it, that's it. That is Swapanam. And then finally, atti. There is no apnoti or adatte. Just atti, just enjoy. So, in waking state, it is a three-pronged step. First you plan, get, and then enjoy. There also you enjoy in waking state. But before enjoyment, you really have to go through all the social pressure and undergo that. In dream, you eliminate that. You can just create whatever you want. You will be the chairman there, and others will be working for you in the dream. You can make that happen. That's why it is adatte. You can do that. But in deep sleep, atti, there you don't plan, there you don't gather, you just enjoy. Because you don't have to order anything. Why? Because you are by yourself. You are by yourself. These three things, whatever is capable of these three things is called Atma. Your dog is capable of it? Yes, he is an Atma. Your couch is not capable? Yes, he is not an Atma. Why? The couch cannot dream. So anything can do that is called an Atma. That is the very definition of Atma. This verse has come in the beginning of Vishnu Sahasranama. Yeah, Shankara has quoted it in a different context. So, Yacha apnoti jagrata avasthayam, yada adatte swapna avasthayam, yacha atti shrupti avasthayam. What is the apnoti, adatte and atti? Vishayan. Sukham. Vishaya sukham. That's what he does. If that is the case, can't he exist outside this three state? Won't he be there in a coma state? When you attain coma, what will happen? If you ask that question, he says, Echasya santato bhavaha. Even in coma, he will exist. Even in murcha, even in mrityu, even in maranam, nothing happens to the Atma. Why? Because that is called santato bhavaha atmanaha. That is the very definition of Atma. Echasya santato bhavaha tasmad atmeti giyate. That is why it is called Atma. Sarvada apnoti. Apnoti tyatma. Always available. You can say, my husband told to tell you that he is not available. But you can never say that about yourself. You can always say about somebody else. You cannot just say, I'm not available. You cannot say that. Because you are always available. That's why it's called santato bhavaha. Atma is always available. Why he is not available in dream means tamoguna. So if you have sattva-guna, if you are established in nitya sattva, then you are going to be full of availability, always aware. That is why it is called as Atma, according to Linga Purana. It is Pratescha. That is why he is Ekatma. See, the person who is in dream, who is in deep sleep, who is in waking state, are they different? Are they different? You can dream that you are a buffalo in your dream. That means what? You acquired a buffalo body. Or you become a Narasimha, like with all that. Or you become a pillar. You can dream that you are a pillar. I doubt we will do that. Narasimha is a possibility. So whatever form you are taking, still the I-ness continues. Later you report, I became a pillar. I wanted to be a pillar today in a dream, but I could not. How do I become? How do I do that? How do I practice being a pillar in the dream? We practice Grihastha Ashrama. That is why it is called as santato bhavaha. In any experience you undergo, always you are going to find apnoti, available. That is why it is called atma. Atma is something which is undeniable. If I say to raise your hand, you can raise your hand, but you can never deny the possibility of not raising your hand. So before even the choices, you always exist as a possibility. That is why atma can never be dismissed. These are the only possible states atma can be imagined: waking, deep sleep, sleep, and the unknown, the murcha. But even in that unknown state, you will continue to. That is the wisdom of Linga Puranam. That is why you are called atma. It is pratescha. Janma mrityu jaratigaha. Why he is ekatma? Because he does not have janma, mrityu or jara. If he had these three, he will not be ekatma. Why? He will be a janitatma, he will be a mritatma, he will be a rogi atma. He is a patient today, he is a dead man today. No, the body is dead, the body is the patient, the body is born. Why? Because he is atigaha. Atigaha means atigachati. He goes beyond janmam, he goes beyond jara by dying. And he goes beyond mrityu. Atimrityumeti. Atimrityumeti. Nanyah pantha. That's what they say. Atma is always above mrityu. Atma does not die. You cry because you think it died. You are limiting its capability. Once you limit its capability, you will start wailing. But if you understand atma as janma mrityu jaratigaha, then there is no misunderstanding. That is what he says. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, avakshiyate, nashyati, iti, shadbhava, vikaran, atitya, gacchati. He goes beyond all these six. Then why did he say three? Because they are the most important ones. Janma, mrityu and jara. The other one is viparinamate, avakshiyate, that he dismissed. But anyway, all these six different states is our life. One who goes beyond all this is called as ekatma. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamasti nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramaya सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्